Hey, what is going on, brother?
Man, what's happening? What's happening?
I am
And
doing well. I hope all is well with you. Thank you so much for being here on another episode of One on One with Courtney Starks.
thank you for having me.
So I have to tell you, um, I was extremely excited to be able to interview somebody from Brooklyn. As soon as we got the yes, I was like, come on, Brooklyn. Come
We go.
on, Brooklyn. That's
We
home. It's
But to
home.
represent, you already know.
As soon as I got the yes, I should get me a sandwich from the corner store and an Arizona iced tea. It'll make the day.
Right at the bodega, right there. Right.
But I definitely, I know this is my first time meeting you virtually, so I want to wish you a happy new year. As I know and I've seen, it has had to be a blast from the top till now. How have you been?
Oh, it's been amazing, man. It's been definitely a great year to start off 2023, and I'm looking forward to see what the future holds as well with BMF and obviously other things
Yes,
after
yes,
definitely BMF started off the year right.
yes. So let's talk. Let's take it back just a little bit. Everybody, like I said earlier, thank you all for tuning in right now. But for those of you who just kind of came in, he's from Brooklyn, y'all. So
Sure.
if you kind of didn't understand where the swag was coming from, just know he's one of us, y'all. He is
Yes,
one
sir.
of us. So how was it for you growing up in Brooklyn? And when did you fall in love with the arts?
Growing up in Brooklyn, man, it's just something that you just everybody got to experience. I think you know what I
Yeah.
mean. Like the good and the bad from it, right? The times
Yeah.
where we can even just say the bad. I grew up on Lenox Road in Flatbush, so it was a time where I can't even go around the corner to Linden Boulevard.
Come
Get
on.
your bike stolen,
Yeah.
right? And then you had the times where you just come downstairs and you ride your bike around the apartment complex, or you go across the street and you play football on concrete, or you play basketball, having a
Yes.
crate on the park, playing basketball. Those are my times, you know what I'm saying? And then
No one can understand those times right now. Like we have become so gentrified, but those times were they were some insane times, but they
you
were good
know,
times.
They were good times. And then there's times that we will play other blocks. Like we'll play the next Lennox. So we'll play we go down to Wingate and play football in Wingate, or we go to IS2 and play basketball IS2. So it's just good times. Obviously the good and the bad, you know what I mean? And I fell in love with the arts when I was actually going to John Jay for criminal justice. I wanted to be an FBI agent, and at one time I was just going to school. So I'm Jamaican, so I'm always need to be busy. So
the 27 jobs, sir.
You know what I mean? Like, so at the time I was just going to school, and I was like, man, people used to tell me I was, coming up is that, hey, you got to look, you should get into modeling. So at that time, I took some pictures at King's Plaza.
Yeah.
King's Plaza took pictures at this at the mall. I looked at the newspaper, Daily News. They was looking for models and actors. Went down there. They loved my look. They sent me out on an audition for ESPN. I booked that. Started juggling both modeling and acting at the same time, doing little stuff here and there, and then fell in love with just acting, man. Like just everything I'm able to research and get into a different character, man. And that's what really intrigues me. And modeling got a little boring, just taking pictures. That's boring. So acting, you really get to dive into a character, and growing up at the same time as well as wanting to be an FBI agent, want to also maybe playing the NBA. I thought I had the skills to play in the NBA or play in the NFL, so I can do this all in the acting space.
You said you went to John Jay, and it's so ironic, right? Because I wouldn't attach acting and arts to John Jay, right? I like you. I'm thinking criminal defense. You want to go be a lawyer. You want to go work with law. You want to do something in that nature. But the switch happened, and at what point did you have that aha moment? Like, you know what? I could make some money doing this.
I think what it was is from booking that very first audition. Then I got a taste of it. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be easy. But then how hard it was. Then a couple months into my career, I booked a Nike commercial.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. So I'm getting a taste of the acting world. I'm doing a couple of extra work, and then I'm trying to remember what else I booked after that. But it was just really the journey. So I started doing like what's floating around right now on one of these hip hop IG pages. It's me when I was in Jay-Z video 99 Problems. So that's floating around. I had a nice role in that. So that's been floating around here and there. But I just feel that as I was doing that I can do this, you know. So I don't know the time that was like, okay, this is it. But as I started the journey and went along with the journey, I just always felt, oh, this is where I need to be.
Yeah.
You know, this is gonna be
felt like home. It felt like home. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that just watching you on BMF, you are such a method actor. And that's another thing we have in common, because the only way you can really truly understand what that is by going through stage plays. So I know that you had your hand in that. There's a family that lives out in the New York City area called the Bragg family. I know that you work with them on a couple of things. And when I told them that I was going to be interviewing you, you would have thought that they wanted to throw their socks at the door, leave their paintings at the door, and just come on in. And I'm like, no, I'm going to release this to you later, because you're not going to come in here and cause a scene. But they talked about how methodical you were, and all that you did. For you, you went from stage plays to commercials to shows to now being in BMF. What different things did you learn as you went and journeyed through all of that?
Oh man, one of the biggest things is not an easy business. First of all, shout out to Dara Braggs and the whole Braggs family. You know, I was able to work with her doing those plays and just getting that experience, man. And you know, we were doing local plays. I believe the plays were in Queens.
Yes.
So getting that instant gratification from people watching us, you know, do those plays there off Broadway, to doing, you know, lower budget films, independent films, taking a train to Manhattan every day, doing projects. Man, those are like those are you said the dog days, but it built me to where I am now, because I really literally took every single step. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, I can say that I don't regret anything. I think everything that doing the business is something that helped me get to where I am. You know, even those days that I was doing music videos and it's real cold, and I'm just hanging out, and I'm like, man, I need a trailer. Now I'm on BMF, I got my own trailer, right? So come on. Times, man, you in an apartment where that's your that's your base camp. You know, your somebody's apartment is your base camp. Now trailers, you know what I'm saying? Like, those are the times, man. But
and it also speaks to the power of prayer and the power of consistency. You know, a lot of times we get so complacent in just the local praise, right? Oh, you're doing a great job, you're good at this, and you're doing this, and we get stuck and we don't think forward. For you, what do you feel like inspired you to continually push, right? Because like I said, like the kids say, sometimes life be lifing and things happen, right? But how do you remain consistent, and how do you push past being complacent?
I think just like you said, is prayer, you know, continuous prayers. My prayer changed in, I want to say between 2014, 2016, one of those years where I just felt, man, I was giving my energy to everybody, finances to everybody. And I called one of my friends and I'm like, hey, man, like, I need to get away from everybody. I just need to go very far away and just get away from everybody. And we had a conversation, and then I went to this church out here, one church, and that changed my life, man. And then on, you know, I was like, oh, you know, I got to really sit and pray. I'm talking about getting on your knees and praying, not the regular prayers you do in bed. Some people do. You got to get back on your knees. You got to do, you know, you got to do it for the foundation, how your parents grew you up. So I started to frequently go to church, and I think that pretty much helped, You know what I mean? And I always got the saying, trust the process. So
Yes.
I just trust the process, man. And
Yeah.
everything that you go through, you got to look for the sun and the rain. You
I
got to
agree.
look for the light in the darkness, and every obstacle that I go through, I always look for the light in it. Why it's here, so it's here for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Every door that closed, you know that the next door will open. So that's what I'm
Hmm.
and I think also even having the friends around you,
Yes.
who are there and they aren't yes men, yes women around me. They get to tell me what it is. They keep a 400 with me. And I think that family, of course, speaking of my mom and my sister, my dad, the continuous conversation that we have, and them having the faith in me as the faith I have in myself, even having the fans, right? Even the one or two fans you had watching a movie that I did call A Deeper Love or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe some in Africa said, man, that movie changed me. So little things like that is people are watching these independent films and you don't know, and that keeps you going. Like, man, people love my work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Things like
From
that keeps you going.
From independent films to BMF. Let's just kind of dive in because I don't think a lot of people remember, but you had a small little part in the first season. I don't think a lot of people understand this. Right. You had a small part in the first season, and then you were brought back for the second season, and you didn't have to audition. And guys, this is what I talk about. I'm gonna have you explain this, but when I say staying ready, so you never have to get ready, is my man Ryan over here. I'm telling you this right now. So let's talk about being brought back, right? Because some people don't get the opportunity, like the character may wither away, it may go away, they want to go in a different direction, but they brought back K9 for season 2. Now talk about that process and what you did so that way you didn't have to re-audition and that they wanted you to come back for the season.
Yeah, so that's definitely very important. So normally with a role like this, so you've seen in episode 1 that I had that one scene. So now coming back for season 2 and how big the character is now, normally you would want to get a name, right? Or normally you would, we need to renegotiate this guy, renegotiate this, or re-audition this character, because that one scene, like you said, most people probably forgot about it, right?
Yes.
What happened was now Randy, the executive producer, went to my agent, was like, I want to be able to, haven't seen much from Rayan just in that episode.
Yeah.
Let me get it reel. I had my reel ready. So once I had my reel, they took a look at my reel and said, oh, yeah, I know he's gonna kill it. That's what Randy said. So if I didn't have my reel together at the time, I probably could have lost out on the role, right, to a name maybe, or they would have had me audition again, possibly.
Yeah.
Once my reel was there, it was set together with the credits that I've had. They was like, oh, he'll be able to do it.
Come on.
And that was very important, man. That little thing right there, having that reel together was something that I didn't even have to audition, which is cool.
And how was it walking back in, right? Because the first season, you probably popped in, popped out. No one knew who you were. They just let you walk through, right? You were just one of the people, just walking in, walking out. Coming back with a bigger role and just kind of reprising who K9 is. How does Rayan walk in now, and how do people greet you when you walk in?
Oh yeah. So let's go to we can jump from the first season to the second season. So the first season to the second season. So I walk in the first season, and I know Tasha Smith through her sister. I just did a show for her sister on BT Plus.
Yeah.
So she comes, wide open, gives me a big hug. Oh, so great to work with you. But then everybody else, hey, what's up? What's up? Because I'm there for a week. Everybody else is, tight knit together. Okay, cool. So now the second season, I walk in, the line producer Ian Wolf is like, uh-oh. Now I'm like, okay, this feels a little different, right? The line producer's talking to me.
Yes.
Yeah, so I get there and everybody's like, oh, you're playing K9? So it's definitely, it's just a different energy. And everybody that I was coming up to when they first initially saw me. It was, oh, you're playing a canine. They were telling me stuff that was going on because they script and I didn't.
Yes.
So it was definitely a different energy, and I think once the table read came up, that's when I put everybody on notice, because that's when I put there, because I knew if I mess up on this table read,
right, it's
over.
over.
You get fired at a table read. So I think I put my mark in there to where everybody was like, "Uh-oh, this guy's gonna bring it," to where even my boy Miles Truitt, who plays B. Mickey, he said he was driving. He said once he heard me, he pulled over. It's like, I need over. Yeah, so I think everybody knew what I was gonna bring, and they was excited to wait to see me in front of the camera.
Yeah, because let me tell you something, you're amazing. And ladies and gentlemen, let's talk a little bit about K9, the character, this ruthless, like ruthless drug dealer, you know, like he is a kingpin on his own, who young Meech takes a liking to. They kind of see the necessity in one another, and they form this bond. He becomes like big brother. You know what I mean? How does this Rayan, just from talking to you, doesn't even have any characteristics that are in common with a canine?
Yeah.
You process yourself to get there, right? You know, I know you, first of all, I know you are like a dancer. So I know the music has to change, right? Because you go from listening to reggae and you know, and bop, 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 to now full-blown rap, try to get into this method acting, this person. How do you get there? What was the process like for you?
Well, one of the things is definitely, of course, doing the research and knowing what the character is about, and then trying to find the similarities that I had with K9. So 3 of the similarities I had was, one of the things is I don't like to be disrespected. Now, I'm not going to go to the level that K9 goes to. He's on a whole nother level. That's one of the characteristics we have similar. I like to wear jewelry and be about, and I like to take care of my team. I'm a family, loyal kind of person. Love basketball. I used to play basketball at a pretty decent level back in my day. And K9, originally dog, same thing. So that's what the similarities I had with the character, right? So now one of the things that I did, I had to stop listening to reggae music. And I reggae all the way.
Reggae all the way.
Literally all day, every day. I'm from Flatbush, Brooklyn. So all day, every day, you know what time it is. So I stopped listening to reggae. I probably stopped listening to reggae for a good 2.5 months. And I was strictly listening to DMX mostly every day. A little bit of Jay-Z, a little bit of Tupac. But DMX was my go-to. And his song, you know, once you listen to his songs, you get into a mood. You know, that's what really got me there. You know, going to set, driving to set, I'm listening to DMX, and it was crazy because I would hit the random songs, and whatever my scene probably was going to be that day, it would probably be a song that matches. And here, I go into my trail and listening to it. So, like you said, when it comes to the method acting, and at the moment when I'm in that scene, boom, it's just how I feel then and there. So I, you know, and I got a story for you real quick that's how I knew I was there. So it's a couple months into filming. We're in Detroit, and I'm speaking to, you know, one of the OGs that used to rock with Meech. And he was like, man, when I first met K9, you know, we went up to him. He was like, how many birds you got? 2 birds? You got 5 birds? Anyway, you don't have my money and time, I'm gonna kill all y'all. That's what you tell him, right? And I hit 3 months into me filming. My very first day, I tell you, no cap, all truth, is I walk into the gym, and I go up to these 5 dudes. I say, anyone of y'all hit this last shot, I'm killing all 5 of y'all. I don't introduce myself. I don't say who I am. I don't say sorry after I say. I just walk to get wired up after that. They look back and that's how I knew when he told me that story. I was like, that's crazy. So I knew I was in sync with him from day one.
Yeah. Now, you said you were doing this for a couple of months, preparing yourself. Actually, 5 months in doing this, right? 5 months preparing for this, being in scenes, doing this thing, and now you finish wrapping up. How do you decompress? How do you go back to Rayan, right? Because you've been K9 for all of this time. How do you let go of that character for a bit until obviously, later, hopefully, congratulations on season 3, by the way. But how do you let go of that and take time to go back to who you are?
I think it was actually pretty easy to decompress from the role. Believe it or not, I just got back to doing my normal routine. A couple months into playing K9, one of my boys was like, "Bro, I think you really." He can tell you really invested. I think you need to start going back to your routine. You need to start dying down.
Yes. Dialing back, yes.
And so, throughout the process, maybe that 2.5 months in, I started to listen to reggae a little bit. But this was actually when I would go out. So it wasn't listening to it in the car necessarily, but when I was going out, if I was going to a lounge or I was going out to a club, then I'll listen to the reggae music. But throughout the day, when I have to film, it would just be strictly rap. So I think, and after just going back to my normal routine, hanging out with my friends, listening to reggae, playing NBA 2K. So I just went back to that of my normal routine, and I believe that helped. And people were shocked to see how I was able to play this character on screen, but as soon as it was cut,
Yes.
Bro, how are you able to do that? I was able to balance the two instead of me, because sometimes you'll meet actors that would be like that the whole time while you're on set, and you don't know if you want to come up to them or not because they're in the process, right?
Yes.
So anytime, I give you an example. If I'm walking past the mall, I can tell he's in the zone. And that's something, you don't want to interact with like that on the set because he's in the zone. You don't want to break his thing. But he was one of the guys who was on it, and he was in that role I'm talking about throughout the whole time. You'll see him on set versus me. If I'm off, I'm not on screen, I'm chilling, boom, boom, but then when I'm on screen, it's different.
Yes.
So I was able to balance the two so I can be able to not be so much into character once I was done filming.
You've done an amazing job for being consistent, and I think a lot of people see that, especially those who've known you, like you were saying, when you were doing independent films to where you are right now. If you had an opportunity to thank one person just who remained consistent in your life during these times, who would it be and what would you say to them?
Wow. That's deep. Somebody go
to one-on-one with Courtney starts.
Right. I would say my sister. I would say my sister because she continues to be my biggest fan, and she would, before every scene, I would make sure I call her, and she would pray for me before I do these scenes. And it was funny because one of the days I didn't speak to her, and remember, every day, every time I before a scene, I would want to speak to her and get prayer from her. She wasn't available. I forgot what happened. So I'm panicking. I'm like, oh, I can't. So what I liked was right before one of the scenes, one of the extras on set, James, he was like, "Hey, brother, let me pray with you." So he saw that, we prayed together. I was like, man, but definitely my sister's my biggest supporter. And shout out to my sister Natasha.
Shout out to you, Natasha.
Yeah, she's been there for me, and she was the one that actually was telling me. Remember, I told you I changed my prayer. She was the one that wanted me to go to this church, but I was thinking because the church was in Hollywood, it'd be too many Hollywood people there. I didn't want to be around it. But the pastor there, Pastor Toure, is amazing, and she's the one that. Yeah, she helps a lot.
Yeah,
I haven't told her that enough, but yeah.
I hope she gets to watch this and know that she's impactful. She's very impactful.
I just spoke to her before I came on too.
Good. So because you are from Brooklyn, there are just some things we need to know. So we are going to play our Brooklyn version of Things We Need to Know. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So, bacon, egg, and cheese, or ackee and saltfish?
Wow. Listen. Ackee and saltfish. And my mom, every Sunday when I'm in town, she's making ackee and saltfish for me. So she know I'm going to be there. not this Sunday, but next Sunday. She got to have my office ready. She got to have it ready.
Okay, we'll let you get that one. Yankees or Mets?
Oh, Yankees for sure.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yankees for sure.
Hims or Air Force Ones?
Oh, that's deep. That's deep. Wow. All right. So listen. Don't kill me on this one. But my choice, it got to be the Air Force Ones. Because the Air Force Ones, hold on, because the Air Force Ones you can wear anywhere. The Timbs, of course, the Timbs is dope. But the Air Force Ones you can wear anywhere. If I'm going on vacation, I can wear the Air Force Ones. I'm out chilling with the homies, I can wear the Air Force Ones. And if I go to the club, I can probably wear the Air Force Ones to a backyard party. You can't go down to Jamaica and be rocking Timbs. You know what I'm saying?
Ladies and gentlemen, if your heart just broke like mine did, it's okay. It's all right. Marvel or DC?
Oh, Marvel for sure.
This is where, okay, we're bringing these points back, ladies and gentlemen. We're bringing them back. Last one, Bodega or Subways?
Oh, Bodega for sure.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yo, you know what I'm saying? For sure, Bodega. A matter of fact, you from Brooklyn, we could even switch it up. We could even say Blimpie or Subway.
Because it was Blimpies all day. It was Blimpies.
All day. People don't know about Blimpies. See, people don't know about Blimpies. Come on now.
Oh man, talk about a throwback.
They start making Blimpies. I'm like,
man.
Subway. Nah, you need to bring Blimpies back, man. You know, you know what the bootleg Blimpies though is
American Hero,
Jersey Mike's. That's the bootleg Blimpie. You know what I mean? Like
that is the bootleg,
but it ain't the same.
Never. So let's talk a little bit about your TV One movie that's getting ready to come out this year. First comes love, then comes murder.
Ooh. That's a good one. That's a good one.
So let's talk about this because you play a lead role. You play a lead role in it. Let's talk a little bit about that.
So it's a thriller. It's about this. I've been trying to always put together. I know the description, all right? And I try to put it together the best way I can. All right. So it's about this couple, and they're going through their little trials and tribulations. And the husband actually hires me to kill his wife. Right. And I'm a guy who, you know, spent some time in prison. So I'm getting a second chance at his workplace. Yeah. And he has he blackmails me to kill his wife. And little do I know, I take on the job to want to kill his wife. And then I find out that she's pregnant. So now I got a little conscience like, oh no, like you got me killing two people now. Like, you know what I mean? And you see what happens in that. That's pretty much the little description that I'm going to give you about. We got to find out if I'm going to kill her or not. Yeah.
This character is much different than K9. I like this one. Man. Rayan, thank you so much for coming by and stopping by and just being such a great light. We enjoyed having you over here, and you are now part of the one-on-one family. You can come back anytime you want. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me, and thank you for doing your research, man. I love it.
You're welcome. Everybody, once again, this is Rayan Lawrence. You can make sure that you're watching every Friday night on Stars. Check your local listens. This is One-on-One with Courtney Starks. We love you for watching. Have a good day.